Hello, my friends. We're getting back into the regular live streams. It's been one hell of a 2025 so far. For those of you that have been following along, I had flu A for about 2 weeks. It's really just kind of clearing up now. I still have a cough, but getting back to regular schedule. Live stream today's Monday, but normally it would be on Sundays prior to the first trading day of the week. And we are going to be putting out some March videos over this week. We were going to do it today, but got kind of caught up with something. So over the next few days, you should see some March videos, some March content coming out. And then by the time we get to the April videos, we're going to be right back on track as far as public content and more active on the YouTube again. So appreciate everybody that's been patient and stuck it out with me through this hardest year of my life to date. All right, so we're going to get into first is I'm just going to review the February 18th daily, even though we've got a video out for that. And then I'm going to get into the February 9th. Then we'll answer some questions and answers. I've got some questions on the Discord channel from people that are subscribed. And we'll get into all that in just a moment. It was quite a strange day, last trading day. This nullified virtue card was something else, but a very difficult card to read. Oh, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong day. Let me see here. 14th, that makes more sense. All right, so we've got this Ace of Swords here. Let's mark that off. For those of you new to the channel, what I'm doing is I'm marking off a price level. The Ace of Swords here at the 9:30 to 10 o'clock hour, indicating an important resistance level. And we're going to notate that because that likely will come in handy in like a not too distant future reading. It's one of the ways that you can work with price levels when using SO meta-analysis. You can see the Ace of Swords is a resistance level that we decline from and return to in the not too distant future. I say it all the time. So this was pretty solid. This was the rally back into, this is the truce rally back into resistance, followed by a decline out of it with some increasing volatility as we exited out. We didn't see a high there. So we're likely to see a pretty big drop over this weekend. Either that or it could be both. Pretty big drop there from the open. It should really stand out. And so there are some people that probably opened up a short position on the 14th at that resistance. It's possible. If not, here at the open, this key resistance is likely a good place. The Princess of Swords acts very similar to the Ace of Swords, so we'll be wanting to mark off that price level as well. If you're just joining us, guys, we're doing the February 18th, February 19th readings. Even though the February 18th, we have a public video out. We're just kind of reviewing it. And then we're going to get into questions and answers. I'm sure there's a bunch of questions on the Discord from our subscribers. If you're wondering how can you ask questions, there's only two ways really. You can be a YouTube member. You go to our YouTube channel, Tarot for Traders, and sign up as a member. It's $50 a month, gets you access to the live chat on our lives. And the other way that you would do that is to use the live chat channel on our Discord, which is something that you have access to as one of our paying subscribers on the website Tarot for Traders. Just show you guys at the end of the video. Or at the end of the live, I'll show you guys how to do that. So yeah, I would probably be opening up a partial unless if there's a big drop like in the pre-market, I might not. I'd wait for us to return to a resistance, and then I would likely open up a short. Um, Interesting. We're getting this ace of wands quite a bit. Princess of Wands, very toppy kind of energy. And you can see on the 1 month, we're really right at the top. So this is very much like an Ace of Swords kind of energy, or an Ace of Wands, being that it's at like the top of the month thus far. And so in any case, this resistance here that we should fall from pretty notably, we should then return to that resistance in the not too distant future. It'll either be with this Ace of Wands here, or it could be here with this. This is a price level ruin, according to S&P meta-analysis. Is a price level ruin. We probably have like a trough with a big move, like unexpected move out of it. And also important to note is that this Queen of Discs appears as the theme card here on the 19th. So interesting, and the ace, the star card in the pre-market. Yeah, so I think we're probably going to see this price level here fall from it. It'll be like a failed attempt to break the resistance, decline into an important trough, and then likely we have an unexpected move to the upside out of it. If we don't see it there in the last hour, then we're very, very likely going to see this big move to the upside overnight into the 19th. But what I would be expecting is to revisit an important support level on a multi-day scale as the theme card for the 19th. You know what? Let's get into the SPY for February 19th. The image file for the February 19th reading was created on January 10th, 2025 at 12:49 a.m. Eastern time. Normally, all of these dailies would be out, but if you're new to the channel, we had quite a bit of difficulty at the beginning of the year, which slowed us down. By the April videos, which shouldn't be coming out too far from now, probably a couple weeks, we'll be releasing April videos. We should be back on track with the dailies being ahead. So the overall theme and behavior, like I said, there's an important support level that we'll revisit in a period of sideways rotation. And that sideways rotation, we should see a sharp drop that'll stand out within that sideways rotation, revisiting the support level that was recently a past opportunity. Behavior around the highest side, we should see a period of volatility with another sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of volatility. Behavior around the lowest low, the full card indicating an important trade opportunity at the low there. Interesting. And we've got a cross-trading congruency with the Ace of Discs and the Lust card here. So these would be important energies for the 19th. I'm advised to trade around a resistance level that we decline from and then return to in the not too distant future. So likely we've got this resistance somewhere here around the open. This is very likely a sharp drop. A lot of price change there with the Ace of Discs. Unexpected move in the pre-market out of a trough. I know a high right around the open with a rally that'll turn over. Notable move to the upside followed by a turnover. In the first half hour, we should see more upward behavior, upward sharp movement. And then between roughly 10 and 11, an important support level on a multi-day scale should be highlighted within, and a lot of price change involved surrounding that support level. It looks like we may have another peak there, or we return to a resistance level here around 11 o'clock, where the rally will turn over with a decline through key support. That turns into price swings midday, followed by a big move to the upside between roughly 1 and 2. And then more price swings, probably not as wild, but more price swinging going on between roughly 2 and 3. Sideways fluctuating decline in the last hour that'll precede a notable rally, which could be right at the close, taking us into a high, or in that last hour, taking us into a high for the day. Very likely we've got a high there at the end of the day. Very tricky these next couple of days, actually, as far as reading the behavior. But my sense is that there's a high there at the end of the day. We'll get into the remainder of the week tomorrow as I progress through the markups. All right, so let's take a look and see what we got for questions on the Discord. Will RIVN go to 40 this year? I see a yes for that. And it likely establishes that as support, at least temporarily. Let's take a look at the chart. So it looks like it. And if you're new to the channel, when we're looking at these 1 year, kind of like on the 1 year scale, there's sometimes a little bit of wiggle room that needs to be given, but we did get that price level. Just we were expecting a little bit earlier than it came in. In any case, that was up around the 17 mark. Looks like we just were shy of 17, but I am seeing $40 at some point in 2025, so I'm going to mark that off. Any idea if we are heading to QUBT's lowest low of the year earlier than expected? So it does look like we're on track to meet these lows, but I don't know about earlier than expected. I'm not sure why you would think that based on we are following the pattern as expected. QUBT is one of the stocks that we're covering on a daily basis, on a monthly basis by the day, predicting the month's highs and lows to the day. Usually on point. QUBT's been a little, January wasn't so hot. February seems to be pretty solid. But we first wanted people to get in here below this $9 line. And that was a really good move very, very quickly. So what we're hoping for is a huge move out of the March earnings. We should see a huge move to the upside taking place there. And this is where I see the lows for the year taking place, somewhere in here. If you're new to the channel, red ellipse is where I expect to see a trough form. There's notes, it says what's going on here. This is the type of thing the type of chart drawing that you get from our live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts as part of the monthly access subscription on our website, Tarot for Traders. I'll show you guys how to get that at the end of the video. So it does look like we were on point with the highs there. That very, very likely we're going to be on point with the lows here based on the fact that this reading has been pretty solid, pretty accurate. Big move to the downside took place on the 11th. And you can see we had this move to the downside. I did expect it off of a peak, I will say, but it was a big move to the downside, increasing with the momentum. We hit a key support level on the 12th. That's the Ace of Discs. Bump along resistance on the 13th. That's the Valor card, followed by a decline again on the 14th. So likely we're going to see a notable move to the upside taking place on Monday, and then some like back and forth sideways behavior taking place on the 19th. I'm very likely going to be exiting out. I own puts and calls for QUBT, and I'm very likely going to be exiting out of those puts here on the 27th with this Magus card. However, I will, when the 27th comes around, I will be looking at the March reading just to confirm that I want to exit the puts. All right, what else we got for Discord? UPST earnings on the 12th. That's already passed, so I'm pretty sure I answered that one for you, Arcana. Jin, I'm not sure what you mean by, can you give us a spreadsheet on RGTI? Do you mean a reading? For February, it's too late for me to do that. I don't do readings for the same month. This is something that I have covered. I put RGTI on this list only because everybody's so interested in it, but it's not something that I cover as part of the monthly access subscription. You'll notice it's not one of the tickers that's covered on our website on the list for monthly access. But if you have specific questions, I can definitely take a look into that for you. Will RGTI also bottom with QUBT? Let's see. Not even sure if I have a 1 year for this one. Yeah, I don't have anything really regarding RGTI. There's only so many that I can cover, guys. And RGTI just didn't make the list. I only put it on there for convenience for you guys on the Discord. USO chat. Can we have a short summary about a 1 year reading for USO? Well, USO is not something that I've actually put out the 1 year for, so I'm not going to get into a full-on 1 year prediction. But it does look like we've got, let's look at the chart first off. So we have a lowest low thus far right here on the cusp of January, February. Also right at the beginning, you could say. Likely not to be like the lowest low period, but the lowest low thus far. we should see a relatively big move after some failed attempt, multiple, I should say, failed attempts to break through key resistance taking place towards the end of February. So we got this early sideways rotation along support, decline through multiple supports out of the high. There should be a notable move after mid-month. So I think probably this was the low for the month of February. Let me double check on that. It looks like we might actually go a little lower before we have this pretty notable move after multiple failed attempts to break through resistance. I wonder if it's that resistance where the high is. Let me double check. Yeah. So likely we're going to see multiple failed attempts to break through resistance around the 78.30 mark with a big move that probably starts right on the cusp, or maybe at the very end of February, right on the cusp of February, March. We see a big move pushing the upper end of a range higher, so probably pushing this range higher. We also very likely have a highest high, at least thus far, taking place on the cusp of March, April. Which would mean that we've got at least this going on. USO is one of the tickers that we cover on a monthly basis by the day, as part of the monthly access subscription. Again, I'll show you guys how to get that at the end of the video. If you're new to the channel, green ellipse is an expectation. I'm drawing an expectation of where I expect the price level to be at a given time. But it actually could go significantly higher just based on that Aeon card. And then as far as the actual trough, see, what I don't like, guys, is this is a very unnatural card to have near a low significator. The Ace of Wands is much more natural in like a high significator, high correlation position. But I would expect us to see a low here. Interesting, and it does, the low will be, there's a resistance level on a multi-day scale that we decline from and return to surrounding the lows, and you can see how that's definitely taken place. Do we go much lower? Let's see. Yeah, we're almost at a low. I wouldn't expect to see much lower going on, guys. So let's put something in here as far as... So if you're new to the channel, there's two ways you can ask questions. You can either be a subscriber on our website, Tarot for Traders, giving you access to the Discord where you can ask live stream questions, or if you've got the monthly access or the total access, you can ask any questions you want, really. And then the other way is to go to our YouTube channel, Tarot for Traders, sign up as a supporter. It's $50 a month. Gets you the ability to chat and ask as many questions as you want here on the live streams, which we have at least once a week. We actually are going to be doing that more frequently in the not too distant future. We just need to finish our catch up, which we're almost there. All right, so what do we got next on the Discord here? Looks like that's it on the questions. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything here. Okay, here we go. So, can I guide on ELF, HIMS, Riven? We just did Riven, and TIGR. All right, let's take a look at ELF. This looks like it's this is very bottomy. This looks like it might have a reversal relatively soon. Especially, that's a pretty big candle, a big volume stick, I should say. So this is going to do sideways rotation through the remainder of February. And I'm advised to be cautious in March. There's some sort of tricky chart behavior. Either that or it's going to be like back and forth sideways along support. So probably not the best if you're looking for like a, well, let's see, long-term buy. With overall between now and the remainder of 2025. Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of sideways rotation throughout 2025. That sideways rotation will end with a fast move higher on a multi-day scale at some point, but this isn't one that looks very, very promising as far as the card energies that I'm receiving for it. I'd probably look for better opportunities to trade. HIMS. This one looks very toppy. Let's see, the remainder of February. Oh, this has got higher to go, guys. I would look for sideways rotation as a signal that we've reached the end of the climb, at least in February. Yeah, this looks like it's got more to go, but it probably has a little bit of a pullback just based on the RSI. It's probably a little bit of a pullback followed by some more movement to the upside. Yeah, and then in March, it looks like we should have a sell-off from an overbought peak. So we're already at overbought territory, which is measured by RSI. Anything above this 70 mark. It really depends on the personality of the stock, but classically, anything above the 70 mark is considered overbought. The further into the green that you get, the more overbought. But again, I would expect to see more movement to the upside in this one in the remainder of February, and look for that sideways rotation as a signal that the upward momentum has kind of like petered out. TIGR. Yep. All right, so chart behavior for the remainder of February for TIGR. I see a pop and a drop here, so we've got more movement to the upside, but that's followed by like a retracement back down taking place here in the end of February. March looks like a sideways fluctuating decline preceding a rally. Overall for 2025, between now and the end of 2025, let's see what we get. This one goes a lot higher unexpectedly throughout 2025, just maybe not so much here in the end of February and March. But the star card, so there's an unexpected move to the upside taking place on like a multi-years kind of scale. All right, we got the Scorpio moon influence. So we're going to get into some price level predictions here for TIGR. We're likely to see at least this price level in 2025. It's a little difficult. I'm not getting very clear answers as far as the price levels past this point, but it does appear that we should see this 1442 taking place in 2025. XCN coin overall trend direction. Yeah, it appears I looked at this one already. $50 cents at some point in 2025. That's a pretty big move considering we're at 2 cents right now, guys. So if you're a crypto person, this is a pretty good opportunity. But although I wouldn't necessarily pull the trigger just yet on purchasing, because it does appear we've got more downward movement to go. Actually, unexpected move to the upside taking place here in February. And March, we may see a new high. Like a new all-time high in March. Definitely opportunity here with this XCN crypto. All right, real quick, I'm going to take a look at Theta. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin, and then I'm going to roll, my friends. Theta Network, another one that we cover on a monthly basis by the day. So far, it looks like we were on point with this one. You can see we're not always on point. We were good with this, missed that one by a little bit. It was earlier in the month. Got these highs pretty much. Went a little higher than expected, but then we totally missed that one. However, it does look like we're back on track. Likely to see a pretty good move to the upside taking place here, guys. We've got the Ace of Discs energy and the Wealth card energy here on the 18th. 19th is adjustment, also another move to the upside. It actually looks like we may have a high here at the end of the month based on these correlations. Rather than it being here, obviously it didn't take place here on the 15th. 15th ended up just being an important crest. Also, it's a resistance level that we declined from and returned to. It's likely we return to it by the 21st or by the 22nd maybe. But it does appear we've got some high energy here at the end of the month. Yeah, see the February low, significant opportunity on a 1-year chart scale. I would definitely want to be long in Theta at this point, guys. At these price levels, I would definitely want to be long in Theta. It's probably something more like this. And when we're using the information from a 1-year, guys, you have to remember these timeline cards going left to right across the screen represent about 2 weeks of time, but not each card's energy will necessarily line up perfectly with 2 weeks of time. So you have to keep that in mind. It's the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction that's most important to pay attention to. Timing is usually on point, but not always, you can see, right? Theta is one of the ones in particular that gives us a hard time. But I would expect us to be back up in the $3 range at least by March. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Just tapped it there. Just tapped it here. I don't like that. I like to see more movement. Yeah, 14.15 ended up being a crest, not a high. That's annoying. But we do have another pretty significant move here. I would be careful. It looks like there's a drop here around the 21st, 22nd, with a lot of bullish energy in the last few days. I should say the last couple of days of February. Some pretty significant upward movement. And we are very close to lows here for the month as it is, so this will very, very likely come to fruition. And it looks like an important important price level we break down through. Where's my Bitcoin 1 year image file? Ah, there we go. All right. Well, from the 1 year, this really does look pretty accurate. A lot of sidewaysy, rotation-y cards going on in February, and then that at the beginning of March, we should see a fast sudden move higher, ending that sideways rotation, like a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range, with possibly a high for the year taking place there in March, thus far, anyways, and then the decline from the high in March, offering opportunity to open up a long position, indicating that we'll see the same high or a higher one in the not too distant future. Overall, I would definitely want to be long in Bitcoin based on where we are right now. Excuse me, based on where we are right now, guys. All right, so if you're new to the channel, you're interested in getting access to the live Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view charts. I mean, on the Discord, that's where we post all of our readings, all of our videos and stuff. When we don't get to YouTube, the important information with the timing of the highs and the lows and all that, and the best trades that we see as they come out, all that stuff on the Discord. All right, so the way that you get access, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. Early access gets you the Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view chart for SPY, and we do day trades for SPY. Not every day, at least once a week, usually more, but at least once a week. And it also gets you the earliest access you can get to any of our public posts. Monthly access gets you the day-by-day chart behavior for these crypto and ticker symbols, with highs and lows. And when the April videos start to come out again, there's paid versions or private versions of those videos that anybody with monthly access will have access to. Total access gets you access to everything, all of our content, all of our 1 years. Currently for 2025, we have all of these as 1 years, with more coming out, as well as 2026s. Total access also gets you access to any private versions of multi-year readings that come out as well. Great ways to support the channel. Much love and appreciation to everybody that goes ahead and does that. But most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You go to our resources tab here. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to one of these charities. Right here. 5% of the profit should be 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel as a way to say thank you. Make it a little interesting for us and help support the channel. Leaving you with 90%, make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you're an angel investor of the channel. Universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. All right, my friends, blessings to all my angel investors. I will see you guys in a couple of days. I'll be back on the live, but I'll see everybody else on Discord.